What's up, guys? Vince Gabriel here. You're about to watch a masterclass that I did for a bunch of gym owners where I taught them how to fix the profits at their gym. And what I did is I taught six different levers, six different things that you can pull to increase the profits at your gym. The cool part is you don't have to do all six. You can just do one of them, and you're going to start seeing more money coming into your bank account. So pay attention to all six of these levers, implement one of them right away, and you'll be on your way. Hope you enjoy this presentation of Fix the Profits at your gym. Peace.
What's up, everybody? See some familiar faces. Guess you guys are liking these master classes. Very cool. Excited for this one. I think it's gonna be a good one. Some of you that were at the first two, the first one we did was all about fixing the marketing, right? So hopefully, so we're taking action on some of those things. The next one was fix the sales. That's what we did last month. And this one is all about the profit. I'm going to get into, why this matters a lot in a second here, but this is kind of the one that matters the most. It really is. Like it's like, what are we all after? We're all doing this. We're trying to make money. We're trying to, you know, um, provide for our families and be successful. And, at the end of the day, this kind of is the metric. This number, this one number is the metric of the whole thing. So this will be a big one. This will be an important one. And the cool thing about some of this stuff, and if you've seen kind of my stuff, it's like this. Anything that I share with you today is never going to go out of style. It's like there's so much out there that that you could learn and be obsolete in an hour from like what you guys are learning from all these guys doing AI and again I use it. I'll show you some things today with it, but at the end of the day, I think we're a lot of people are putting the cart before the horse. I see these guys that barely have a functioning gym and they're pivoting to selling peptides out of their business when they have 20 members. And so I think that like we have to understand like first things need to come first. We have to have the basic foundational principles of like, your football coach always said to you if you play football, it's like, what do we need to do first? We need to block and tackle. We need to block and tackle. We need to block and tackle. And we're not going to like run the end around and run the trick plays first, right? And I'm not saying AI is a trick play. I think it's got to be part of our business moving forward, but we have to get the foundational principles down. So if you could let me know where you're at from a city. Just type into the chat. So we'll practice using the chat today. But type in your gym name. What's the name of your gym? And then what city and state you're from. So gym name, city, and state. Just so I kind of have an idea of where people are coming from. And I will tell you this is the way I do stuff is I'm a coach, right? So I was a trainer. I haven't been introducing myself at all. What an arrogant jerk I am, thinking everybody knows who I am. But I essentially have been in the industry for 20 years. I was a trainer for in San Diego for about five of them. Then I moved, opened my gym in New Jersey in '08, and my gym still runs. I'm in my gym right now. We've been running for close to 20 years. Probably about a decade ago, I started coaching other gym owners, but while my gym still runs, so I still can kind of practice the things I'm preaching, right? And testing things out and seeing what works and what doesn't. So that's kind of, the quick, very, very short story to a long story of me and what I'm doing. But I do see a lot of familiar faces and people that, have been on these things a lot. So I appreciate you guys coming back. It means a lot. And I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a helpful one for you guys. This is the most important piece. You do not want to leave early today. Of all the ones I've had, okay? Of all the ones that I've done, I promise you, you do not want to leave early, okay? What I am going to share with you at the end, I'm going to share with you a bunch of different things at the end of this that is going to be very, very valuable to you. Okay. So my strong advice is to not leave early. Some of you guys are like, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock. I have to go. Like, no, like do not leave early because the stuff that, you know, I'm gonna offer to you, right, is only going to be available while we're here today. So don't leave early. Okay. Right. Let's lock and load. What I was saying before I share my screen. The way I like to work is in coach format. It's kind of what I was getting into before. So I don't have slides. I don't have like PowerPoint slides. I have like a a Word doc that I slide down. I'll highlight what I'm talking about, and I'm just going to talk to you guys and teach you guys. But I don't have like fancy slides. It's not a webinar. As much as I have things to provide for you at the end, I don't have anything to sell you today, right? So you don't have to worry about a big sales pitch at the end. I'm not planning a big sales pitch at the end. Everything I'm going to give you and the opportunities I'll give you at the end of this are all there'll be no cost to you for anything. So it will be worth it to stay to the end. But that's kind of how I work. So apologize for the gritty, raw presentation of all this. But let's get rocking. And first, before we get started, are you ready? Type into the chat and let me know if you're ready. When you all tell me you're ready, I'll start. Let's go. I need to make sure that you are alive out there. Okay, good. Oh, someone put an exclamation point. Very good. Um, just so you know, like when you guys use the chat and type in Charmaine, how are you? Good to see you. See some really cool familiar faces. Just so you know, like when you guys have your screen on, like Lewis, thank you so much. Eric, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you so much. Kevin, thank you so much. Dennis, thank you so much. Clayton, thank you so much. Meredith, thank you so much. When you guys have your Zoom on and I can see your faces and I can see your eyes and I can see your smiles and I can see your frowns, I can see your deep breaths, it really helps me. It helps me a lot to give me the feedback of where you guys are at. Do I need to go deeper on something? Do I need to like re-explain that because maybe it confused you guys? So you guys that have your screens on, you're really helping me out and doing me a favor. So I really appreciate that. But also participate in this. Participate in the chat. Put your comments in. If you have a question, I'll do some questions at the end. But if you have a question, if you're confused about something, like use the chat. We're here. For me, it's raining. It's pouring rain outside. I'm sure for a lot of you, it is too. So like, what else we got to do? All right, let's lock and load. Here we go. Okay, go to this. Okay. Type into the chat if you've ever seen the show The Prophet by Marcus Lemonis. Type into the chat yes or no if you've ever seen the show The Prophet by Marcus Lemonis. Let's see how many of you guys. Oh, a lot of no's. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, good. Well, you guys got mandatory TV watch assignment coming for this weekend. But the Prophet, very quickly, the Prophet was a guy named Marcus Lemonis, and what he would do is he would go into struggling businesses and businesses that essentially were in the red, businesses that were just having drama, businesses that were going down the tube, and he would come in. He would do a deep dive, spend like a week with this business, and what he would do is he would invest his own money in the business, and then he would help turn it around. Okay? If you watch the show The Prophet, he followed similar patterns when he would help a business out. And the one pattern, some of them were the same, some of them were a little different, but there was one pattern that was the same every time. And it was on the second day when he would meet with the person, he would go to a restaurant, he would sit down with a table, and he would say these words: okay, let's sit down and look at the financials. Because we can't fix a business if we don't know the numbers. And so he was obsessed with, that's why the show is called The Prophet, of looking at what the numbers were saying about the business. That was his whole thing. His whole deal was like, all right, what are the numbers telling me about the business? Everything that I'm going to teach you today is through a very similar lens. Okay? So here's me. This is with my CEO mastermind. So I run a small group mastermind, groups of 12, and we meet 4 times a year. We've been I have 2 different groups. We've been meeting since 2019. And what we do is I give them a packet that's a deep dive of their business, and they fill out the packet. But what they also need to do is bring their financials. And their financials tell me everything that's going on with the numbers, how much revenue, how much expenses, how much profit, what the payroll was, everything. And I calculated, I have done 516 hot seats. A hot seat is where someone goes to the front of the room, everyone has their numbers, we all look at it, and we all give feedback based on that. I've done 516 of those. I've done 117 different consulting days with gyms where they spend an entire day with me, where I help them grow. And I've had 19 years of running multiple companies of my own. At the peak, I had 3 7-figure companies before I sold my agency a year ago. Okay. But I've looked at a shit ton of these profit and loss statements, which tells the story of a business. Anytime any consultant out there is giving you advice on how to improve your profits, but they're not looking at this stuff, they're swinging from the chandelier. They're speaking from their emotions and not what is reality. And what I'm going to teach you today is reality based on the 516 hot seats, the 117 consulting days, and the 19 years of running my own companies of what I've seen helps improve profit. What I've seen can help you take your profits and make more money and take your business to the next level. Okay? So why are the profits broken in so many gyms? Okay? The first thing is we're not looking at the numbers. We don't have clarity on what the numbers are. Most businesses don't. And if you don't, just understand like you're in the majority, not the minority. If you do, if you know your numbers, like if I'm to ask you a bunch of questions about the data points of your business, not just but your financials, but your leading indicators, and you know those numbers, you are in the minority. So you're doing very, very well. But most aren't. Okay? The profits are broken because people focus more on top line and bottom line. Why do you think that the marketing and sales topic got more people to come to this thing than the others? What's the point of going to a marketing and sales thing if it's not going to equate to profit? This is the one that matters most. This is my least attended one. There's 57 people on this one. I had over 100 on the sales, and I had like 90 on the marketing. Why? Because they're top line focused. They want to fix the problem with more revenue, more clients, more sales, more sales. And they don't know that there's things that they can look at that they probably already have that exist right in front of them that they could do to fix the problem that they're trying to solve with more clients. Number three is too many gym owners are price cowards. They're too afraid about price. And they don't want to raise them. They don't want to do anything with them because they fear, people are going to think they're greedy pigs. Number four is they don't control costs and they have leaks in their business. And five is they don't know how to ring the register. They don't know how to make money. Okay. And we're going to go over a bunch of those today. Okay. So fixing the profits comes down to these 6 things. And this is our topic for today. Knowing your numbers and making business decisions on the numbers and data and reality, not emotion. Number two, getting price right. Number three, fixing your billing cycle. There are some of you that are billing people improperly and not doing things with your billing that's making you lose money. Number four is looking at your current schedule. There is money inside the current schedule that you've got, and simple adjustments in that schedule will yield more money. Number five, we're going to look at unused capacity. Okay, unused capacity. This is an unbelievable concept that nobody talks about. And this is stuff that you've got that you're not using. Okay. And the last is I'm going to share with you how to acquire the skill of generating a cash flow surge. How to get money now. Okay. So let's get into it. Here's the first thing. Okay. We need to know the numbers. You got to know the numbers, but the first thing you need to understand and know is a lot of you are like, I'm making money, but where's all the cash? I'm making money. I have clients. There's actually revenue, But why isn't the number in my bank account going up? Where is it all going? Well, here's where it goes. Okay. So when I look at a profit and loss statement, there's three things that really matter, right? There's the revenue. Okay. In this case, it's 20. There's the expenses. In this case, it's 12. And there's the profit, which is 8. Okay. And this is good. We want profit. This would be a good, strong profit. Okay. But the reality is, do we get to keep all this profit? No, we don't. Unfortunately, we don't. And what happens is a lot of people think that, oh, I made $8,000 last month. You didn't make $8,000. Okay. Because there's places that money needs to go. And it's not going to be like just because I got $8,000 in profit means I had an $8,000 increase in my bank balance. And that's what we really want, right? You want to look inside your bank balance and be like, and to feel better about it, right? You want to feel good. You want to feel confident in that number. It's like, oh, it's going up. I'm making more money. Okay. But here are the three places they go. Okay. 30% needs to go to tax. Okay. And I strongly recommend every one of you creating a separate bank account that when you make $8,000, 2,400 of it goes into a separate account. You pull it out of your operating account. Okay. Because it's giving you a misleading number. Okay. But 30% of it goes to tax. 30% of it should go to what's called retained earnings. This is to build a cash reserve, ultimately leading up to about 3 months of expenses in your cash account. Okay. Retained earnings is also money that you use to reinvest into the business. Okay. And the last one would be your dividend. This is the money that you get to keep. Okay. So 40% of that, 3,200, that actually is the money pending you don't have a lot of debt that you got to pay. All right. That is the money that will rise the bank balance. Okay. So that's really why that you have like an $8,000 profit and you don't feel like you're making more money. This is the reason why, because it's going these three places. Okay. Now, what do we need to do to raise this number? Right? We can't do anything about this. We need to do these things no matter how much we make. If you make $80,000 in profit or $8,000 in profit, you still need to do this. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to raise this number. But this could be why there's some frustration around where's all the cash. Okay, so I wanted to clear that up. Okay, so I talked about knowing your numbers. Okay, there's 7 numbers that you really need to know. 7 numbers that I want everyone to walk away on this call knowing. One is, how many active and paying members do you have? Now, you may be looking at me and be like, what the F are you talking about, Vince? I know how many members I have. I have X members. I have X members. I have this many members. And I will tell you this. Um, it is not uncommon for someone not to know how many members they have. Have you guys ever used a software called MindBody? Right? Many of the people that I've seen use MindBody, all of a sudden their MindBody account has been going for so long that they don't even know how many customers they have because the software is such a mess. Now, hopefully you're not in that situation. Okay, but if you are, you need to understand and know that this is one of the basic, most important things, and it becomes even more important in number 3 that I'm going to talk about today. So you got to know how many active paying members you have. If you do, great. If you don't, you better get on it. All right, number 2, you need to know the average revenue per member. Okay, what is the average revenue per member on a monthly basis? Okay, how much do your clients pay you every month? Because some of you have this unbelievable, I can't, it's mind-boggling the numbers that I get and the discrepancies between when someone tells me what it is and when I actually figure out what it is. Because you might be thinking, well, yeah, everyone that pays me is like $400 a month. Okay, cool. All right. And then all of a sudden I figure out it's like $200 a month. And they're thinking every client they have is worth 400 a month and it's really down to 200. Okay. You have to have an embrace of reality. How do you get this number? Well, you take how many clients you have, right? Or you take your recurring revenue, right? Your number of your sales, and you divide it by actually how many customers you have. You take out your one-off, one-on-one people that are paying you every 6 months or something like that. It's like, what is it? And that will tell you around what your average revenue per member is. But I think people have a very misleading view of this number. Number 3 is monthly recurring revenue. You want to know what's expected. You want to know the amount of money that you are going to collect, not this month, but also next month. Okay. And we want to build our business around this MRR number. And our goal is to increase every month this MRR. All right. If our MRR is 20,000, the next month we want to try to get it to 22,000. And the next month we want to try to get to 24,000. When you can build strength in your MRR, that is a powerful business and a very, very strong thing to do. Okay. Number four is you need to know what your attrition rate is. Okay. Type into the chat. I'm not going to ask you if you tell me, if you say yes. Okay, I'm not going to ask you. But type into the chat if you truly know what the average attrition rate of your business is in the last 90 days. If I go the last 90 days, and if you can tell me what was our average attrition rate, meaning the members we lost, type into the chat yes or no if you can tell me that number. Average of the last 90 days. Because the reason why I say 90 days, 1 month is not a trend. We don't look at things in 1 month. We look at things in 90-day trends. Okay, so type into the chat yes or no. Can you tell me what it is? I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to put you on the spot. Okay. Okay, so a lot of yeses. Good. No, of course my old heads no. Good. Okay, good. So I'm seeing even some of you putting the numbers in. That's really good. Okay, excellent. This is honestly like is the most important number of your business. This is the most important number of your business. If you get this wrong, sales and marketing becomes so much harder. Okay. And so if this number is one of the most important numbers that we could ever have, we have to have a really good grip on it. So I'm glad some of you do. Number five is you need to know what your payroll relative to revenue is, meaning how much are you paying out in staff relative to revenue? Okay. How much are you paying out in staff relative to revenue? Ideally, for us to have a profitable company and a profitable business, we're between 25 and 40%. Okay. This excludes your owner's draw. Okay. And it essentially means that it kind of follows a 40-30-30 split. So if like 40% goes to payroll, 30% goes to your fixed and variable expenses, and 30% goes to profit, that's kind of where this number comes from. Okay. So that's why 40, if all of a sudden our payroll is 60%, it doesn't leave enough margin for us to grow because we're all going to have about 30% of variable and fixed costs, right? So we want to look at this number. And a lot of times as businesses grow, they don't keep track of this number and they overhire and they have too many staff and all of a sudden they're like not making any money and their staff's making more money than they are, right? Because they're not taking a grip on this number. Okay. Number six is rent relative to revenue. Okay. Ideally, we want to shoot for around 10 to 15% and a max of 20%. And I only suggest 20% in about a very, very high end area that's going to drive new business where you can do a lot of money. Okay. So 20% is on the high end. I'd like to see you closer to 10%. Okay. So this should kind of tell you is your rent, like if your rent's, $2,000 a month, you're in the clear, right? But if your rent's 10 grand a month and you don't have the potential to make 100 grand in that business, then that's not a good rent, right? And so you can start to look at that. Now, some of you are like, yeah, I wish you told me this before I signed my lease. So some of this is after the fact, but some of you are scaling. A lot of our clients are opening up multiple locations. This is something we talk about a lot. But if the rent is too high, it just takes up too much room and it doesn't allow us to be profitable. So this gives you some of that. And the last one is the last number you want to know is your revenue mix, right? And this is how much money is coming from each service offering. So if you just have one service offering, this is not like a thing for you. But if you have one-on-one training, if you have small group training, if you do athlete training, you kind of want to know how much of your revenue is driving each one of those services. And by knowing that mix, all right, and knowing that revenue mix, what you can do is you can see and say like, oh, so I have a guy, I think he's actually on the call. Oliver, are you on the call? I thought I saw you.
Yeah, he's here.
Oh yeah, what's up, Oliver? So Oliver, when we were at CEO Mastermind, he was doing
What's
a
going
lot of
on,
one-on-one
Vince?
training. What's up, brother? But this reminded me of you is that when you were doing a lot of heavy one-on-one, and he had a lot of sessions of small group on the calendar, but not a lot of clients in it. And I was like, perfect. You only have like 30 small group, or I think at the time it was like 20, we have that expense structure is fixed, and every person that we add into that fixed expense structure is pure profit on top of that. So we identified that that was a monster profit producing potential, and we hyper focused to grow that part of the business because every new customer was a zero increase in expense versus every one-on-one customer was an added payroll hour to a trainer. And so Oliver's focus for many quarters became how do we go and fill the small group? Oliver, are you there still?
Yeah, life
Where did you
changing, man.
what did you start at? And again, I honestly had no idea Oliver was going to be on the call. That's full no bullshit. So Oliver, where did you start at?
We were at 28 small group and we're
Right.
stuck
So when we
there.
started this venture and when we identified this thing, we were like, all right, this guy's got 28 small group, but he's got like a potential to put in like 60 or 70 or I don't know what the number was. Where are you at now?
91.
Oh, okay, cool. Right. So he went from, did you have to expand any sessions?
We got 34 sessions right now in classes. Back then it was probably like in the 20s.
Okay.
But incrementally we've been going up and profit margins have been increasing. And so, yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah. So that was a good example of, hey, we identified that the revenue mix and we were like, all right, there's a lot of juice to squeeze out of this potential piece of the revenue. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Oliver. Um, let me find some people to look at when I do
Uh,
this.
yeah, I got on a
Um,
call.
okay, cool. Yeah, guys, just make sure you're muting your audio too. Um, okay, cool. All right, the next one is price. So there is not a better lever to increase your profitability than to adjust your price. Now, some of you were on this the sales masterclass. I went over this with you guys as well, but this is actually worth repeating. And the quick story is this: when my daughter, excuse me, when my daughter Bella was about 1 years old, was 1 years old. Vanessa had the old 1 year old birthday party, and she went and got this monster cake for my 1 year old daughter, and the thing looked like a wedding cake. I was like, look at this, and I was like, Vanessa brought it over, and she's like, oh honey, I was like, this is the most wonderful cake I've ever seen, and she's like, yeah, thanks, and she was kind of like almost sheepish about it, and I was like, where'd you get the cake? And she's like, oh, it was like this place, and it was like 45 minutes away or something like that. I was like, I'm wondering why she went so far to get a birthday cake for a 1 year old. And then I said, my wheels start turning a little more, and I'm like, Vanessa, how much was this cake? Like, what did you pay for this cake? And she like turned beet red, and she's just like, I have to check the receipt. I was like, honey, how much was the cake? And she's like, $474. It was like a legit a $500 birthday cake for a 1 year old. And I was just like, what the hell? But understand this is that it did not make any sense to me. It probably doesn't make any sense to you, but none of that matters because it made perfect sense to the buyer, which was Vanessa. And the most important thing you need to understand about price, and I'd write this down, is your value judgment does not matter. Your value judgment does not matter. Okay, you are in a different position than a lot of your customers. Okay, your mom's value judgment does not matter. Okay, when I was charging my $300 for my big book of marketing, my mom yelled at me, and she's like, "How could you do that to people? Charge $300 for a book? What's the matter with you?" She was actually legitimately upset with me because she found out I was like, "Sorry, mom, I've actually sold more of that book than any of the books that I've ever sold." But at the end of the day, only the value judgment of your customers matter. Okay. The lawyer that makes $1 million a year that needs you more than anything, and you think $500 is too expensive, to him, it's nothing. Okay. So you got to understand that. There is no faster way to increase your profits than to raise your prices. I did this personally in my own gym. I told you guys I eat my own dog food. All the stuff I'm teaching you, I'm either teaching my customers, like I showed you with Oliver, but I'm doing myself in December of 2025. At my own gym on the other side of this wall, I increased my prices by $49 a month on all of my members. Some of them have been with me for close to 2 decades. Okay, $49 a month per person. It was an immediate $7,350 increase. Okay, with zero increase in expenses. We also raised the price of new members going forward by $100. Since we did that, we've had a net of 27 new members, which has added another 13,500. So we're over 20K in new monthly recurring revenue, mainly driven by the cojones to raise my prices. There is no faster way for you to increase your profits. All the stuff I'm teaching you is secondary to this. Okay? And understand this, it is a near certainty that the chain linking your current product to your current price is bigger, thicker, and stronger in your mind than in your customers. So this is emotional. And sometimes what we got to do is you got to get past some of these emotions to be able to make better business decisions. Okay? So should you raise your prices on current members? The answer is yes, but only if you have an acceptable churn rate. If you are a leaking bucket and you're losing members like crazy, then you probably shouldn't do it. But if you do, you've earned it, okay? How do you get the courage to do it? One, you do 3 things, okay? You do some math, talk to someone else that did it, and you read your testimonials. Those are the 3 ways you get the courage to raise prices, okay? Here's the first part. Here's the math part. You ready? So let's say you have 100 members paying $200 a month. You're doing 20K a month, okay? Let's say you propose to raise your price by 20%, which is kind of high, right? I'd like probably closer to 10 to 12%, okay? But let's just say we use this as an example. And it brings you to $240 a month, okay? This equates to a $4 per session increase, assuming the average is around 10 sessions a month. If everyone stays, okay, you have 100 members times 240, that's 24,000. That's a $4,000 increase in recurring revenue overnight. Okay. Now, I always like to look at what would happen if a lot of people leave, what's called doom and gloom. Okay. And let's say worst case scenario, we lose 20 members. Okay. You got 100, you raise your price by 20%, and 20 people say, screw you, you're not worth it. I'm going somewhere else. We were down to 80. 80 times 240 is 19,200. Okay, almost the same as this 20K. So we lost 20 people and we're still almost at the same money. It's a little bit of an ego hit, right? But the bank account and capacity are safe. Let's say we do great with the price increase, but never add another member. Meaning you're locked at 100. You never add any more members. It's still a $48,000 a year increase. And this is more important. $48,000 a year, but it's a $480,000 increase in profit over the next decade. And some of you smart, savvy business people are like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Here is a case study from April 22nd, 2026, where I had a guy in my office that I was working on this. His name is John. And he was at 13K and he wanted to get to 20K. He had 50 clients. John needed, at the current state of his business, he needed 75 clients to hit 20K. All right, so he's at 50. He needed to add 25 more clients to hit 20K. And so a lot of times what happens is, oh, I want to go from 13K to 20K. What do I need to do? I need to add 25 more members. That's a lot of time where the mind goes. Okay? Based on his churn and that's where the mind goes. It's not necessarily correct. So based on his churn and acquisition rates, this would have taken him 12 months because he was losing 2 and gaining 4. So if he's losing 2 and gaining 4 every month, as you can see, to get from 50 to 75, it would have taken him 12 months. Is everyone following me? Type into the chat. Type into the chat, yes. I just want to make sure. Sometimes the math stuff gets a little wonky, and I want to make sure everyone's following me. Okay, got it. Okay, good. Majority is yes. Eric, we'll ask questions at the end, whatever you don't understand. So if the majority is yes, I'm going to keep going. All right. So instead of him just trudging forward and going from 50 to 75 over 12 months, instead, we raised prices on all current members by $40 a month. Okay, this is a real case study. This has really happened. Okay. And he raised new prices by $40 a month. So all new members are paying an average of $435 a month. Okay. Keeping his churn and acquisition rates the same, getting to 20K will take him about 2 to 3 months, even if he loses 5 clients during the price range. Okay, so we either can go 12 months or 5 months. So some of this is about speed. Do you want to make 20K a month in 12 months, or do you want to make 20K a month in 2 months? I think we all know the answer to that, right? So that's raising your prices on current members. What about raising your prices on new members going forward? How do you raise your prices on new members going forward? Take notes on this. This is a very, very important one. I want you to be, gets a little confusing here. Okay. But here's how you do this. Ready? Michelle, you ready for this one? The first step is you open Microsoft Word. The second step is you open the document that has your price sheet. The third step is you make the prices bigger. The fourth step is you click save. The fifth step is you click print. And the last step is you present this at the next sales consultation. Okay. Usually about halfway through, I start seeing the smiles. At first, everyone's like all serious and they're all ready, and like the smiles start. Once I get to point number 3, the smiles start coming. But that's all you need to do. You don't need to tell anybody. You don't need to, like do anything except go in there and do it, and just have the courage to do it. That's all you need. That's all it is. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. Just go do it. All right, number 3, the billing cycle tweak. Right? So, but where are we at so far? So, one, we got to know our numbers. If we're going to be more profitable, we have to have a grip on what the data is telling us, meaning we have to have a grip on reality. Okay? Not emotion. The second piece is we know that price is the biggest lever. And whether that lever you're going to pull is raising on current members, whether that lever you're going to pull is raising on new members going forward, I don't care what it is. But that is the fastest way for you to start making more profit, is an adjustment in price. Okay. Number 3, this is very simple and very easy too. Okay. We're tweaking the billing cycle. Majority of people bill monthly. Okay, fine, great. It's better that you're billing monthly than if you're, charging for packages and, some guys paying you every 4 weeks and some guys paying you every 8 weeks. Another guy's paying you every 20 weeks. Another guy's paying you every 6 months. It's just all over the place. So if you're billing monthly, you're in a great spot. You're in a great spot. Okay, but what's better than getting paid 12 times a month? 12 times a year. 13 times a year. Okay, and we can very simply do that by switching to what's called a 4-week billing cycle. And that is you bill every 28 days instead of billing every 30 days. Okay, and you get an extra full month. Here's the math. If you have 100 members paying you $200 a month and they pay you 12 times a year, that's $240 a year. If you have 100 members paying you $200 and they pay you every 28 days, so it's 13 times a year, that's $260. That's $20,000 a year in profit. That's not revenue, guys. Right? That's not revenue, because here's the thing. Anytime we increase revenue without increasing costs, that is profit. Do you understand that? That's a really important point. And this is where you should be on the lookout. How can I increase revenue without increasing costs? That's what this does. So a $20,000 increase in profit is like almost increasing your revenue by $100,000. Understand that. If your business does 100 grand at 20% margins, your profit is 20,000. But here we didn't have to make 100 grand to make 20,000. We only had to make 20,000. Are you follow me? All right. It's all hidden inside your billing software. It's $20,000 a year, but hey, let's take it to the next step. It's $200,000 over the next decade. How do we do it? Just do it. Just tell when any new member coming in, this is how we do it here. We bill every 28 days. Okay, sounds good. All right. How do you communicate the change to your existing members on renewal? You're telling them you're going from monthly billing to every 28-day billing, the same way you would raise your prices. You'd be fully transparent, open, honest. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is what you get. And it's the same methodology as raising your prices. Okay? You do want to notify them, though. You do want to be honest and upfront and be a stand-up person. You don't want to just change it and all of a sudden there's all these questions coming. Be upfront and be honest about what you're doing. Okay? But I have three very, very important questions. Now, I'm not yelling at you because I know these are all capital letters and that's yelling at people. I'm not yelling at you, but I just want to make sure that that you understand that this is important. Okay? I'm not yelling at you, but I am yelling at you. You ready? Here are the three questions. I already asked you this one. How many members do you have? Do you really know? Are they all getting billed? And my third question is, are you sure? Are you sure that every one of your customers is getting billed? And if you tell me you're sure, and I would ask, show me and prove to me the process that's in your business that enables you to check this. I have lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from this mistake over my 20 years in business. I don't lose another dime to this, ever. I've learned the hard way. Okay? But here's what you need. Somebody looking inside, matching up the customers that you are coming to your gym, that are on your billing schedule, that are on your training schedule, and the people that should be getting billed. How often are we making that connection? I'm telling you, there is money to be found inside of this one very thing. I'm not yelling at you. I am speaking to you in all capital letters, but I'm strongly advising you that you are doing your due diligence because loss prevention is just as important as revenue generation. If all of a sudden because of a billing error, you have two members not being billed. What's the difference between getting those people billing and gaining two members? They're the same. And all this is uncovering things that made mistakes. So please, please, please do yourself a favor. This money is right there. It's waiting for you. Do not make these mistakes. Loss prevention is your job. Okay? All right. Number 4 is, we're going a little faster than I thought, but it's all good. Is this helpful? Type into the chat. Is this helpful? Are you getting something from this? Have you gotten one thing that you feel like could be beneficial and valuable to you? I have low confidence, so I need you guys to type into the chat to tell me that I'm doing a good job, Vince. Pat me on the back. No, I'm kidding. Cool. Good. All right, cool. I'm going to answer that, Jesse. That's a good question. I'll answer that in the Q&A, but it's actually a good question. The question Jesse asked was, how often do you recommend price increase? The answer is it would depend on the amount that you decide to do it. So I'll tell you. All right, great job, everyone. Okay, number 4. This is a really interesting concept. So hotels, you can learn a lot from other businesses. Okay. But hotels have this concept called they look at their rooms as perishable assets. And what that means is that, what does perishable mean? Like fruit is perishable, right? Once that banana goes too brown, it's gone. We ain't using it anymore. And a hotel looks at a hotel room is that if that room goes vacant for a night, it's a loss. It's money lost forever. So they focus more on the vacancy rate than the occupancy rate. It's kind of a morbid way of looking at it, but they're really focused on loss prevention. They're really like, hey, we are losing money if we have 100 rooms and we only fill 80 of them, we're losing those 20, the revenue of those 20 rooms every night. And they start looking at it on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and it is a metric for them. Okay, now, mind you, it's a morbid way of looking at it, but it is what an urgent way to start filling up your sessions and getting more of your sessions filled with more people. Okay, now here's the other thing too. Check this out. What's your feeling like when you go to a place like this? When you walk in to this restaurant, what is it like? What do you say? What do you say to yourself when you walk into the restaurant? Tell me, type into the chat. When you walk into the restaurant, there's not one person around and you got a waitress that's sleeping up on the counter. What is the feeling like? We know what that feeling's like. What do we want to do? What's the number one thing we want to do? Turn around and get the hell out of there. Right? We're not excited about this. We're not like, oh, great, a table. I'm going to get a table. No, we are not. We're like, what the F is wrong with this place? That's what you're worried about. That's what you're thinking about. So understand it's like when your sessions are kind of like lukewarm, if you got like a capacity for 6 and there's 2 in there, that energy is different. That experience is different. Right? So understand it's not just about making less money. It's about what is the story being told. We walk into a gym and it's bustling. That's a story. You walk into this restaurant, that's a story. And what do we want to do? Well, we want the story to be this place is freaking great every time, right? And so we want to create that experience as much as possible, right? I took my kids to Monday Night Raw. If you are not paying attention to the WWE, I don't care. This is a real picture from my phone. Okay, if you're not paying to if you are looking to make more money in your business and you are not paying attention to everything the WWE is doing, you're nuts. This is a company that is on a tear, on the highest level it's ever been in. I would be so paying attention. Even if you do not like wrestling, you should be paying attention to this. We went to Monday Night Raw on a Monday night, Madison Square Garden, not a freaking seat empty. Not one. I don't want to even tell you what we paid for the tickets. Okay? Not one empty seat. They have mastered the art of capacity. And we need to do the same if we want our businesses to be more profitable. Okay? Here's the thing. If you have 24 total sessions on your calendar and you have 24 sessions per week and you have a capacity of training 6 people in each one of those sessions, you have a total capacity of 144 spots. Okay, that's what your capacity has for your business within that schedule. It doesn't mean you can't add more sessions, but within that schedule, within those 24 sessions, you can do 144. Are you paying attention to what percentage of those 144 spots are getting filled every week? You should be. It's one of the lifebloods of your profitability. Okay. The goal is that we fill an average of 122 of 144 spots, which is around 85%. Okay, that's our goal. That should be your goal. Every one of you should be worked towards what is your calendar? How many sessions do you have? Right? And start working towards 85%. Let me tell you something. Let's show you something that's going to blow your mind. You ready for this? Okay, let's continue with this 6-person session. Okay. And let's say on average in the 6-person session, we're getting 4. On average, we're getting 4. Okay. We're charging $50 a session. So each session we're making $200. If we have 40 sessions a week, we're making $8,000 a week. If we multiply that by 52, we're we're making $416,000. That's our revenue. Okay. With an average of 4 people per session. That's across all the sessions. There's an average of 4. Look at what happens with 5. 4 to 5. That's it. One more person from 4 to 5. Still $50. Okay. Instead of 200, we're making 250. Still 40 sessions. Instead of 200, we're making 250. We're at 10,000. Okay. So annually, it's 416,000 to 520,000, a 25% increase. Okay, going from 4 people per session to 5 people session on average equates to $104,000 more profit. Do you understand this? This is only one more person. I'm not saying you need to go from 2 people to 6 people. I'm saying you go from 4 to 5. That's one more person, a 25% increase, 100,000 more profit. Now, look at what's the $100,000 more in profit number. What does that mean? Well, look at what my example was back when I did the when I did the billing thing. What was the billing thing? The billing thing was 20,000. $100,000 business that's at 20% margin, they're making $20,000 in profit. A $500,000 business doing 20% profit is 100 grand. We just added what it would take a normal business to add needing to do $500,000 in revenue. Do you understand the focus of, are we starting to understand the shift and the mindset of being a profit and making decisions in our business to drive revenue without increasing costs? That is what this is all about. Okay? That's what that does. 6 ways to get them full. You ready? One, we may not even need, I don't think we can get from 4 to 5 over on average without adding some new people, but we can get close. Okay? Here's how we get close. How many of your customers are doing 2 times a week that should be doing 3? I'm willing to bet a lot. Right? Why don't you just ask them to do 3? Because it's better for them, right? Would you agree? Jesse, would you agree that it's better for people to do 3 days a week versus 2? Of course. Any of you work out 2 days a week? Any of you work out 2 days a week? No. Anyone serious about getting results is not working out 2 days a week. So why are we selling that shit? So you have a session upsell system. And your system is you reach out to 10 to 15 members per month and you offer them an extra session for free for 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, you sit down with them. It's like, how do you feel at 3? They're most likely going to say, I feel great. It's like, okay, good. We'll keep going at 3. And you do this with 10 people a month. Over the course of a year, that's 120 people. I see the heads nodding. Okay. Number 2, what gets measured gets done. If we ain't tracking this, we don't know what the hell's going on. You need to track your usage weekly against the goal of 85%. So going back up here, we need to know, all right, we're at 100 spots out of 144. Our goal is to get to 122. You got to start tracking it. All right, you got to start tracking your usage, add it to your weekly scoreboard. Okay. Number 3 is getting, if you are not reaching out to people that are not coming to their sessions, they will quit. Do you understand that? If you are not reaching out to people that are not coming to their sessions, they will quit. Some of your lack of usage is people just not showing up. And the biggest mistake you can make is not reaching out to those people that aren't showing up. Like, they are going to quit. I promise you this, they are going to quit. You do not allow it to get that bad. The minute they don't come, you call them. We're in the business of getting people to come to our gyms. That's what separates us. Okay? You can't let it get away from you. You need a lights out attendance tracking system. Okay? Number 4, give more spots away for free. It is more expensive to run a session with an empty spot than it is to give it away for free. Do you understand that? It is more expensive for you to have an empty spot in your gym than it is to give it away for free. Because if I give it away for free, there's potential for a sale. If it's just empty, there's no potential. So this begs the question is, why aren't you doing a monthly Bring a Friend Day? If not monthly, why not quarterly? Why aren't you encouraging your people to bring friends? Why aren't you having specific sales where you can do things like mom's train free in the month of May or dad's train free in the month of June? That's all leveraging what's called the Lonely Kettlebell Theory. We're giving more things away for free for the potential to make a sale. But I don't like giving stuff away for free. Get over yourself. You're not that good. Get over yourself. Give it away. Remove sessions from the calendar if you're below 50%. Sometimes this is the fix. Sometimes we just have too many sessions on the calendar. And simply by going from 30 sessions on the calendar to 24 sessions on the calendar, sometimes we make more money immediately. I ask you to tread carefully on that one, that you don't lose clients in the process. But sometimes that is a fix. And your usage rate can be increased overnight by simply removing stuff. Okay? And when you get to 85%, hold your water. Remember that? Remember this restaurant? Where do we want to be? Do we want to be here? Or do we want to be here? We want to be here. So when you get to 85%, hold your water. Get a couple complaints. It's not the end of the world. It makes people be more on their toes, for sure. Okay. Number 5 is we want to leverage the unused capacity in our business. Do you guys know what percentage of sales McDonald's makes from breakfast? It's only open for like 4 hours or something. I think it's like 7 to 10 or whatever. I don't even know. 25% of the McDonald's sales goes from breakfast. They didn't used to have breakfast. McDonald's used to be open at noon for lunch. And all of a sudden, Ray Kroc was like, let's open for breakfast. And their sales went through the roof. That was a concept called unused capacity. They had something that they could be using to make money, and they weren't using it. They found it, and then they made more money. Do you guys know do you know who that guy is? Anyone know? Yeah. Type into the chat if you know the tagline. See if anyone knows it. No? No? No. The tagline was "Set it and forget it." Everyone remember that? Yeah. So he had this rotisserie cooker, and you would go and they would set it, and the audience would be like, "And forget it." But anyway, so infomercials. Um, Infomercials. When do they go? When are infomercials on? 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. That space in TV was free. Literally, they were giving it away. And all of a sudden, these infomercial companies found this space that was unused capacity in the networks. They realized that people are benefiting from it. And then they had the TV channels were making all this money on selling these late night TV series. Unused capacity. Okay, every one of you has unused capacity. Here are the places where I think you have it most. Number 1, you have unused capacity in your lists. You have unconverted leads. You have unconverted trials. Okay, all those people haven't bought yet. If we're not leveraging those lists, we have unused capacity. Your past client list is unused capacity. If you are not doing regular things to reach out to your past customers, that is unused capacity. That's an asset that you can use to make money that you're not currently using. I will tell you this, the hint is reach out to every past member on their birthday with an offer to come back. Okay? Number three is trainers' time. You have trainers, they have time. What can they do outside of training sessions? Well, one of my staff members, Andres, he is a wizard on social media. So he trains 30 hours a week, and then he gives us 10 to 15 hours a week of social media work. And he's phenomenal at it, and it's great. Before, we weren't doing anything with him at all. That was unused capacity. All right? It's an amazing thing. Number four is midday hours. What times of the day are dead and can be used to make money? We do all of our one-on-one training in the midday. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 11 a.m. All of our one-on-one slots, we do a small number of them, but that's all money we were making before, and we filled our hours with those one-on-one slots because we had capacity in the midday. Okay? Number five is relationships. I suggest you all make a list on who you know and who you need to know. Who do you know in your community that could put you in front of all the customers that you need to be put in front of that you're not making a relationship with? Right. And number six is space. Is what areas of your gym are not making money but should be? Well, I'll tell you this. We have about a 300 square foot area where we make about $2,000 a month from a physical therapy renting it. Right? It's a value add to our customers. It's a revenue generator. And it's a great relationship moving forward. And it's something that didn't exist before that does exist now. So do you have space that can be provided and used to make money? All right, number six, this is the last one. Cash flow surges. What do we need to do to get a cash flow surge? Okay. There's a very historic story of the Beatles, and they're sitting around at one of their mansions, and they're in the backyard, and they had just hit and made it big, and they're sitting around like, hey man, it would be really nice if we had a swimming pool at this home. And they looked at each other and was like, well, why don't we just go in the recording studio, because it was in their house at the time. Why don't we just go in the recording studio and let's record a new song, and we'll take the proceeds from the song and buy a swimming pool. And so the language became not we're going to write a song, we're going to write a swimming pool. And understand this is that you have the ability to write yourself a check whenever you want. You as a business owner have the ability to create an offer, create something that can generate a surge of cash flow whenever you want. Employees do not have this. You do. But it is a skill set that we need to learn. Okay? How do we make 20K? You can get one person to pay you 20K. You can get 2 people to pay you 10, 4 people to pay you 5, 10 people to pay you 2, or 20 people to pay you 1. I always like to find that one person to pay me 20. It's a lot easier than finding 20 people to pay me 1. Okay? So here's 5 elements for a cash flow surge. Okay, what do you need to have in place to be able to create this offer, to be able to make this thing happen where you can generate a flow of money that you didn't have before? Okay, number one is you need strong customers that trust you. You will always do better with a cash flow surge if you have trust within your customers. Number two is you have quality lists of unconverted leads and past members, meaning you are keeping a relationship with them after they have left. Number three is you have the ability to build an irresistible offer, meaning you can create things that people actually want to buy and will part ways with large chunks of money for it. Okay. Number four is you've built relationship equity. And number five is that you are believable with your scarcity and urgency. Those are the kind of 5 things. If we're going to do this cash flow surge thing and we're going to do something and put something out there that's going to drive some money forward, okay, those are the 5 things that need to be true about your company. Okay, now there's many different ways to do this. Many different ways to do this. But I'll share with you the one that I did when I opened this gym that I'm in now. It was 2017. I did not want to take on debt. It was a 10,000 square foot facility, a very large build out, and I wanted to use my client's money, not my own. Okay. And I went to I think it was around 7 members. I offered them an 8% discount to pay in full. Okay. 7 people took me up on the offer. And every year in December, those people still, not everybody, I think there's some people that have left after a while, but this is now close to a decade later. We still have about six, I think there's 5 people now, but 5 people now every year pay me in full at about 5 grand a pop. So every December we collect a nice chunk of change at about 25 to 30 grand. In December hits the account, right? And that's the money that I used back on the day to fund the build out of the new facility. Now, what did I have? I had relationship equity of those people, and I had strong customers that trusted me to be able to do that. If I just went to a bunch of cold people, it probably wouldn't have happened. So understand that the relationship you build is really powerful, and it gives you the ability to do all that stuff. Okay? So I kind of just explained to you kind of how I did it. Here's the actual, this is like, I don't think this is the actual letter, but this is something along the lines of what I sent. So I'm sending this email to a small handful of clients I believe could benefit from this. I've created an offer for clients that have been with me for a while to get an 8% discount on their membership in exchange for paying in full for the year. My accountant has approved me to do this for no more than 5 people. If you're interested, just reply to this email. Thanks. So something along those lines that you could send to your customers. Now, I do think that there's a right time and a place for this. There should be a reason for the money, not just random, like, oh, I want just to see more money in my account. But there should be usually a reason that you're doing this for. Okay. Understand that if I wouldn't do this, if this is going to drastically reduce your recurring revenue. When I did it personally, it was a little hit to my recurring revenue, but it wasn't a huge hit. So just understand this. If this is going to be a monster hit to your recurring revenue, and all of a sudden you're going to be running at a loss, this is not a good decision to do. So it's not for everybody all the time. Now, there are different ways to do it. Okay. There's different ways to get a cash flow surge. This is just one way. I'll show you how you can get access to the other ways in a second here. Okay, so let's go with a case study. Ready? Jason, are you on?
I saw him earlier. He should be on.
Jason Marr? Thought he was on. Okay. Oh, good. Leo, see if you can find him for me. So here's the case study.
Showing up right now.
Okay. So here's the case.
There. He is there.
Okay, cool. Tell him he's up in a few minutes. Here's the case study. Ready? What will your business look like in 12 months if you, let's say we did some of the things we did today. If you raise prices on, let's say you had 100 members and you raise prices from 300 to 330, okay, which is roughly like a 10% increase, 300, 330. Let's say you started doing 28-day billing instead of monthly billing. Okay, as we talked about. Let's say you got your capacity from 50% to 85%, from not only getting more people to be in your sessions, but also adding some new customers. And I put a very, conservative ad, 5 clients a month, okay, which I think is a very conservative ad for that, okay? But your capacity will goes from 50% to 85%, okay? And let's say you orchestrated a cash flow surge, like I just talked about, and got 3 members to pay in full at 5 grand each, and you repeated this every year. Okay, so the recap, the 20% price raise is 48K a year in profit, right? The 28-day billing cycle is 20K in profit, and the adding one more person in session on average is another 104K. So 172K. Okay, 172K in profit if you do some of the things that I shared with you today. Now, let's make the same comparison I've been making. A gym doing 1 million in revenue that has 20% margins, their profit is 200K. A gym doing 1 million in revenue at 20% margin, your gym is making 200K in profit. I just showed you how to make 172K with almost no increase in revenue. If this gym that's doing $1 million wants to increase another 200K, they got to do another million. Do you understand that? Greg, do you understand that? Yeah. It's like if I got a business doing a million and I want to make 400K instead of 200K and I keep running my business the same way, I got to do another million in revenue. I just showed you how to do that with almost none. This is the mindset shift that we need to have. I have asked my friend Jason Marr uh, to come on and tell his quick story. This is a screenshot of Jason's profit and loss statement. Okay, it's 113,555. Guys, that is not a year. That is a quarter. Okay, that is not 113,000 in profit. That is not a year. That is a quarter. But I've been working with Jason since the inception of his business, and he's come on to share his story with you. Jason, take it away.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I couldn't join you for the whole thing. I had to just pop on. So, um, real quick, Vince, bring me up to speed. Ask me a question so I can roll into this. I kind of where are people kind of left off? What do they need to hear right now?
So the biggest, let me stop my share too. The biggest thing that I want people to hear from you is that you've been with us, for a couple of years now. You've implemented all the things that I've shared today in terms of making your business more profitable, in terms of maximizing your schedule, in terms of maximizing your price. And I really just wanted them to understand that this is possible, that there are people that are taking these things and doing these things, implementing into their business and becoming very, very highly profitable gyms. And when you sent me your P&L at 50 something percent margins, and I will lead with that Jason is not typical. Like, I'm not saying every one of my customers is like Jason. He's one of the top, which is why he's sharing it. But basically, what I wanted you to share is just where you were before you started your gym, how things have gone, where you are now, very brief.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So, what I'll add onto that screenshot of the profit for the quarter was that does not include my salary as an owner. So, my salary that I make as a W-2 employee of the corporation is also wrapped into those expenses. So that 100 plus K of profit for the quarter is on top of what I make as owner of the business. Um, it's a good distinction to make because as your business continues to grow and as you start getting the proper accounting systems in play, that's all going to matter and how you figure out your percentages and where you're going to map to what your expenses should be allocated to on your top line. um I think what got us to this point, and how it is possible, because I still don't believe it is possible, but it is. um we started at zero, no clients, no revenue. I had known Vince for a long time. I had followed his stuff for a long time. And through his education, of what I've learned from him over the years, when I opened the gym, I didn't really have any bad habits to break. Like, I knew when we opened what kind of model we needed to run. I know what kind of pricing structure we needed to have in place. So we got profitable very quickly because those systems were in place from the beginning. I think it would be a lot harder to get that type of profitability if you had a lot of things to change. Um, but this group is a place you want to be if you want to understand those structures and how to get your scalability done the right way. We run a 6-to-1 model. We charge a premium price. We scale the model by having two groups run at the same time. So we can have, 12 personal training clients working at once in a 2,000 square foot facility. Um, and I lean on this group to help me basically get the speed back. Everything that they're teaching in the group, I gained, um, in a year's time, versus what that would take you at least 5 or 10 years practically to get on your own without learning from these guys. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, so just for those keeping track, it's close to a $500,000 in profit in 2,000 square feet. Or just get your head around that. Half a
That's my
million dollars. And a
oh,
lot of times people think they need more space, more space, more space. And it's like he's done the exact thing of what I push people to do is maximize what they have, right? He's maximized his staff, he's maximized his facility, he's maximized everything. And it's one of the most profitable gyms I've seen in my 20 years of doing this. So congratulations, Jason. Amazing.
yeah, that's 2,000 square feet with myself, two part-time, or I'm sorry, myself, two full-time trainers, and one very part-time person. So you nailed it too. You got to maximize the staff and make sure you're not wasting time.
Beautiful. So that brings me to I want to help you guys do this. Okay. I told you guys to stay on for this. Uh, I'm Here's my proposition. This is Tom Leonardis. He's on this call with us. He just wrote his book, How to Sell Fitness Without Selling Your Soul. Hey, a little congratulations for Tom on writing his book, releasing his first book. But Tom works for me full time. He is one of the best people I've been around of finding money in your business. And so I've opened up 10 spots for what's called a find the money call. And what he's going to do is he's going to look at your business and he's going to help you find some money based on some of the principles that we found today. Tom used to actually run my gym in New Jersey and actually did this very thing for my gym when I originally hired him on. And he found a great amount of profitability in my business just from looking under the hood of doing things like this. There's 10 levers he may pull. I just went over the first five today, but he has other levers that he can pull to be able to help find the hidden money in your gym. This is a free call, okay? But there's some things of how this works. So here's how you got to understand. One, Tom will put the link into the chat to book the call, but you lock in your time slot today. This is the only time to do it. The second thing is Tom's going to send you a questionnaire that will give him info on your business, and this will shine the light on where you could be leaking money. Where are the areas? Is it a price issue? Is it a capacity issue? Is it a billing issue? The questions Tom asks you in this sheet will kind of lead you down the path of, okay, what's broken and what can we fix the fastest to help you make more money immediately? Okay. He will evaluate that sheet. So if you don't fill it out, the call's canceled. Okay. He will evaluate that sheet before and he will prepare for you. This is why we can only take 10, but he will prepare for you notes and things and suggestions that he has of what you can do. And then you guys will meet on the call and discuss it. Okay. When you show up on the call, he'll give you the strategies to find the money. And then the last part is you'll just say, be very happy and say, thank you, Tom, for helping me make all that money. Okay. So that is the offer today. It's not a selling, not selling anything. It's a free value add. And here's the thing, full disclosure, guys. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this masterclass for free? Why am I giving you this free call? At the end of the day, I've always run my business as, hey, you guys know that I'm running a business, right? I coach gym owners. Jason doesn't get coaching from me for free. Like he pays for it, right? But at the end of the day, I've always found like the best way I can market my business is to give you as much value as I can for free, right? And if all of a sudden you're getting value from the things I'm providing for free, meaning you're getting value from this masterclass, you're getting value from the call with Tom, you're going to get value from the resources that we provide, you get value from my podcast. If I can do that and just provide value for you, what's it going to be like when you actually start paying? It's going to be a lot better, right? So that's the reality. That's kind of why I do this. So full disclosure, yes, we're running a company, we're running a business. We have services that you can buy that will help you take your business to the next level, 100%. But this is how I like to start the relationship of providing as much value as I can for you for nothing, and then taking it from there. Okay, you also will get, if you do decide to book your call, you also will get 3 different bonuses. Okay, you'll get a testimonial email builder. You'll get a guide that teaches you how to raise your prices. And you will get my 5 ideas to add 60K playbook. Okay, you'll get those if you book the call. We will give you these resources when you show up to the call. Because what I don't want people doing, and that's not fair to us, is people booking calls just to get resources and then all of a sudden they cancel the call. That's not fair. Okay. So you'll get those three things on there. The one I wanted to show you is the testimonial email builder, which is really, really cool. And you'll get this. It's and I'll walk you through it real quickly. So check this out. So I created this testimonial email builder that basically in a couple minutes you can create an email that gets sent to your list that is a testimonial about one of your customers. So think like one of your gym customers that's been doing well. You can basically use this formula to create and write really good testimonial emails. So I'm going to build it right in front of your eyes. It takes about a minute. All right. So let's just use Helen. Let's say the client's name. It's just what's your client's first name? The client I'm going to use, the story is Helen. Okay. How old are they and what stage of life are they in? Let's call her a working mom and dad. What neighborhood does she live? We'll call it Berkeley Heights. How would they have described themselves by joining? Always tired. What were the specific physical complaints? We'll call it low energy and fatigue. How did they feel about themselves emotionally, embarrassed in their own body? It felt like they lost themselves. What had they tried before coming to you? Let's call it personal training elsewhere. What finally made them walk through the door? Upcoming event. What were they afraid when they first started? Getting hurt. What surprised them most about your gym? We'll call it how much the coaches cared. How did they train and what coaching did they? Smoker personal training. Did community coaches and accountability play a role? We'll call it members became friends. Lost significant body fat. Compliment someone and seeing them. I'm just picking whatever right now. Let's call it more confidence at work. This is like a quote that would say, I feel better at 50 than I did at 40. GFP in Berkeley Heights. Adults 65. Call it my offer is 14-day trial. And I'll just put the phone number. All right. So what it does is this, based on answering those questions, which took like less than 3 minutes, okay, it gives me a prompt. And all I do is I take this prompt, I copy it to the clipboard, click that, and then I go to Claude or whatever you use. I type in the prompt. I put in the prompt, and then it's churning. And look at that, it gives me the email. All based on the questions that I answered. And it's a decent email. Because I've programmed it with my stuff. So that's why it's a good email. All right, so you'll get that. You'll get that email builder. You'll get the price raise guide. And you'll also get my 5 ideas to add 60K if you book your call. All right, your free call. All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. Are there any? Oh, wait. No. I have something more. But wait, there's more. So, yeah, so check this out. No, if you thought, Jake, if you think that's epic, wait till you hear this. All right, so you guys are the first to know about this. Okay? I'm super excited about this. You're the first. I haven't told anybody. This doesn't get released until Sunday night, but I'm sharing it with you guys now. So, I'm about to celebrate 20 years as a gym owner and 10 years as a business coach for gym owners. And I wanted to do something huge and big. And so what I did was I compiled a very, very, very large package that I think that if one person got this package of stuff, it would completely transform their business and likely their life. Okay. And so I'm calling it Vince's Huge Giveaway. That's what it's called. Vince's Huge Giveaway. And I'm going to show you everything that's inside the giveaway right now. All right. So this is my video. The value of the package is $25,750. Okay. And it includes 6 months of my mastermind group, a one-on-one consulting day with me, a day at my gym, 1 month of Facebook ad Instagram management, a 2-hour private in-service for your team with Charlie Weingroff, a $1,000 shopping spree to perform better, a gym subs package worth $2,500, a level 1 certification from CFSC, a finance audit with Mike Waldron, and 90 days of efficient retention software, nominally, all totaled at $25,750. And what I'm doing is from Sunday night to June 21st, when I pick the winner, I'm basically going to take applications for people to apply to win this thing. And you guys are the first group that will get access to fill out an application. So, Leo, if you can put the link into the chat, you can type, fill it. You don't have to fill out the application now because you guys have a head start runway, because I'm not putting it out until Sunday night, so you don't have to do it right away. But if you want to fill out the application, it takes about 7 minutes to fill out. We can fill out the application, and I'm selecting one winner to win this monster of a package. So very excited about that. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. All right. You guys don't seem excited as I thought you'd be. But anyway, I can't really tell how you're feeling by Zoom. But all right. Well, what questions do you guys have? Is there any questions you guys got for me? Charmaine, are you in like witness protection program that you like?
Hey, Vic,
What's up, Kev?
when you have clients that are at different rates, so like we have a family membership at $300, we have single membership of $200. Do you just raise $30 a month on both memberships?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I like the clean version of that, of opposed to, because a lot of times if they're like paying a lot less and you want to try and get them, if you do a percentage basis, it could be, you know, um, it could vary a lot, you know.
Right.
So that's why we just did $49 across the board for us, right? So
Okay.
I like the straight dollar amount, because the percentages, then you have to like put them on a wild goose chase. So like, how much am I actually gonna increase it, or like what is it gonna be? Then it's like, no, it's just straight clean. It's $40 a month. It's $30 a month. And that way you don't have to, it doesn't get confusing, because that's what you don't want to do, is you don't want to confuse people in the situation.
Cool.
Cool. Shirts are required to ask a question.
Yeah, I can't help you there. I'm in Florida. So, quick question. When you're saying to reach out to uncovered trials and leads, like I typically have a follow-up process of 14 days. So we call people twice a day, 3 days in a row. Then we call them once a day for up to 2 weeks. And after that, we put them on go high level in some kind of re-engage campaign where they periodically get some messages, get some YouTube videos, and some calls to actions. But let's say after that time period has went by, 2 months, like what are you reaching out to them before? Because we're already reaching out to them like 10 plus times within the 2 week time period? Like, when do you suggest reaching out to that person? Do you wait like a season to go by? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you have it right with the initial, and remember, there's unconverted leads, right? There's leads that didn't become a member, and then there's also past members, which is a different follow-up system in and of itself. But yeah, I think like around 21 days is gonna is the intensity of the follow-up, meaning you're frequently doing it, and then you add them after that. You would add them to your email list, right? And your email
Yep.
list should be, sending regular content. But what I would do is I would go back um, and and think like go back to your 90-day people. Like, so go back 90 days and like pick the 90-day ago people and then do individual reach outs based on those people. And then go back instead of 90 days, go back 120 days and then go back 180 days. So basically, when you run through all the people, you just keep going back and back and back and back and keep going back further with the reach outs. I think that one of the mistakes people make is they try to automate everything. And I think the biggest thing I can share with you guys is like sometimes like I learned this quote. It's like an ounce of personalization is worth a pound of automation. Like I'm not saying you shouldn't have automation. I'm not saying you shouldn't have stuff like this in place, but like there's a big difference between getting some ugly random automated text and actually getting a legit personal reach out, whether that's a video, that's like something like that. So that's how I would almost like think almost one person at a time. How do we feel like someone is getting communicated? And I think this is as AI starts to increase, we separate ourselves by making it more human and making it more personal by doing the personal reach outs. But that would say like if once they go through your cycle of like that first heavy 21 days, then start doing every 90 days, then start every 120, just keep going backwards.
Thank
Yep,
you.
got it. Charmaine, you are now released from witness protection and you can ask your question.
Hey, yeah,
What's
I
up?
am really good. How are you?
Good.
We did a kind of a pivot into some longevity and wellness. So we still have the fitness classes, but we built an ecosystem. So we have test, train, recover, repeat. And
Cool.
we just did a rebrand. So I was wondering, that's why I'm here, because I'm looking for ways to jumpstart my program, so to speak.
Awesome. Well, what's your question?
Would you do these profit things in addition to launching your brand and whatever pricing modules? So it's not cheap, it's expensive, right? So let's say the cheapest one is $500 a month.
Okay.
So I guess we're finding I don't really want to discount. So it's trying to figure out what to do with that and still get traffic.
So is the problem you're not making sales?
Well, the main thing that happened is we redid our website and our Go High Level, and then whatever, there was some glitch in Go High Level, so the links didn't work. So
Okay.
we weren't getting any communications, let's put it that way. So
Okay.
that's still a work in progress.
I'm having a little trouble following what you're asking. Can you formulate maybe a how do I question?
Yes. How
Try
do
that.
I implement the changes that you talked about in
Oh,
addition to implementing a brand launch?
okay. Um, I'm going to answer that with pick the thing that is the lowest hanging fruit. Meaning, what's the easiest thing that you learned today that you could implement and just do that first? So, for example, if your retention rate is really good and you have members on recurring revenue and you haven't raised your prices in a while, you could raise your prices and send a letter to all of your customers saying, hey, we're going to raise our prices by $20 a month. Another example could be the billing one, right? And so you could use what I taught you today by picking one of them, right? And I don't expect anyone to take everything that I taught today and to do all of it, right? I mean, I should have kind of prefaced with that and said, hey, pick one of these things and do them at, one at a time, right? So I would probably just do that. You know, if a cash flow surge is needed, maybe a cash flow surge, or can you start looking at your capacity on a regular basis? Like, are you tracking your capacity in your sessions right now?
Yes, but we
Okay,
haven't,
good.
tracking and acting on it is two different
Yeah, so
things.
maybe you could do the one thing that I said before of like just reaching out to 10 people a month and offering them an upgrade. Like
Yes,
how does it feel when like you go to the airport and all of a sudden they go, "Hey, sir, Kevin, would you like to come into our first class seat?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah." Like, I'll do that. Right? How do you feel when you get upgraded? It feels freaking awesome, right?
I
And
love
so
it.
upgrade your members. So that's probably where I would start. The rebrand, it sounds like it's a little bit more of a deeper question that I don't know if I can answer in the context of this call. It sounds like there's a lot of things to focus on and do for a rebrand. So I would say I would start with picking the one thing that I talked about today that's the easiest thing to implement and then just acting on that first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's up, Nick?
All right, so one more question. When you're talking about like for your launching a new program, let's say, because I do one-on-one training and I do large group, but let's say I want to start doing semi-private training and I want to launch as a new program. Like how far out would you launch that? Like as far as making that announcement, and then how do you do the math around the numbers on what you would spend for marketing? Let's say it's going to be $400 a month. They're going to get 2 or 3 sessions a week, and again, I'll run the numbers on that. But let's say it's $400 a month. It's $100 a week, right? Or
Yep.
I'm sorry, $400 every 28 days, because that's how you said how to bill, right?
Yep.
So let's say you do that and you want to launch that as a new program. How far in advance do you make that announcement? And then what kind of marketing dollars do you put behind it to find new people? Because I'm already going to go internally to the people that do large group and the one-on-one. That part I already know. But I'm saying to get a new set of people, like what kind of marketing dollars would you put behind that? Like how do you do that equation? Or is that like
Yeah.
a set amount?
Yeah, I don't know if there's an equation. I think what I would do is first set a goal for what you want to get into the program, right? Let's just say I want to get 20 people or 30
Mhm.
people. Like the first thing you do is you decide what success looks like,
Okay.
right? And so let's say it's 30 people. I like to launch these things if I have an existing business with some type of like almost like a short-term program that's like 6 weeks long. And basically you can build it around a theme like summer coming up or something like that, and they would sign up for it, that program over 6 weeks. But the program would incorporate the new program, like it would be in this new venture that you have in terms of small group or semi-private, meaning your one-on-one people, they or you know some one-on-one people will do it. Some of the thing you got to also realize is, not everybody is going to go from large group to small group. Not everyone's going to go from one-on-one. If in my experience, it's been a small percentage.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I
Okay.
want to find new people.
Yeah, yeah. So just know you can probably bank on a small percentage. But the first thing I would start with, what's the goal? How many do I want to get? And then I would launch it with some type of a 6 week challenge that led into a recurring revenue program. And that's almost like the inaugural thing to do to get people into it, right? And so it set a goal like to get 30 people into this challenge or 20 people into this challenge. And then in terms of what to spend on marketing, I'm not a big budget guy, right? Because here's what I look at. If I spent, $1 and I made five, or every time I spent $1, I made $5,
I'd be
what's my
happy.
budget?
Unlimited.
Right. Like, why would I ever stop doing that? So
Correct.
I think you can give yourself like some guardrails and be like, I'm going to commit to spending X amount of dollars. You technically, could do the formula of, I like to see, it's called CAC to lifetime value ratio.
Hmm.
I like to basically see a 1 to 5 ratio. of CAC to lifetime value. And for those listening, the CAC is the cost to acquire a customer relative to the lifetime customer value. You don't necessarily know the lifetime customer value yet because it's a new
It's a new
program,
program.
right?
Right.
So, but you could estimate, right? Let's just say on average you're going to be charging 400 a month. If someone stays 12 months, you're looking at 5 grand, right? So I'd be willing to spend $1,000 to make five, right? The way you do that, if the goal was 20 people, like you could say, I'm willing to spend, around 5 grand to get those 20 people. You could, that is a formula that you could use to back it into. But I think that,
I'm
there's
saying how
so
far in
many
advance?
opportunities. Oh, so how far in advance? I
Because
like,
like I wanted to
yeah.
launch a younger kids program from ages from 7 to 11 because right now we have like 12 to 16 is our like teenager like a bully proof program, but like a 7 to 11 will be like keep the kids strong and healthy. I didn't put a name on it yet, but it's going to be a brand new program. So I was thinking about launching that in September because the kids are back from like summers and vacations and things like that. So if I launch in September, am I marketing that second week of July? Is that like
For
early August? Like, what are you
I
thinking?
think 4 to 6 weeks is a good
Okay.
kind of snapshot of how often to market it. Sometimes if you get too far in advance of like 12 weeks out, like people like they just kind of ignore it, right? So I think 4 to 6 weeks is kind of like a sweet spot. I'll give an example. Like anytime I run like a challenge at my gym, like a 6 week challenge or something like that, we usually have a 3 week lead time for it. We're pushing it hard for 3 weeks in a row, and then we have a deadline. And a lot of times too, you can market into the week that the signups are as well. But I think for something like this, like give yourself 4 to 6 weeks to lead up to it.
And like pre-enrollment specials, how do you feel about that?
Well, you're not going to do pre-enrollment special. It's really just because you're launching it with this program. So it's not a
Right.
pre-enrollment. You're really just saying it's this program. There's, the goal is this. It's a fat loss challenge or whatever it is, and that's how you're launching it. That is the
Understood.
strategy. Pre-enrollment or like a founder's rate or something could be done, where you give like a special discount. But I think you can do a really good job of just getting it launched with something like this.
Thank you.
You got it. All right. Other questions? What other questions do you have? There's a lot of you still here, so you here just to stare at me for the rest of the afternoon?
Hey, I got a
Just
question.
yo.
I got a question. So, um, basically, I moved from one city to another city. I had about 400 and something people. 400, I say 420, 420 people. I moved about 6 miles down the road. I lost. I went down to probably about 140 because people didn't want to go across I guess the river or whatever. That's here no there, right? So when I moved over, the landlord before that, he went from $12 a square foot to $28 a square foot. And I told him I couldn't afford that. That was just like too much. So then I found a spot that was like $10 a square foot. Just trying to give you the background.
Hmm.
Um, $10 a square foot, which means that, of course I still had to increase my my price point at that time. Because at the time it was $35 at the time. Of course, when I moved over to the other spot, I just went up about $10, thinking, well, that was gonna be good. But I do more semi-private. I do more semi-private clients and whatever. So that was majority of my revenue at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So now I'm in the process of trying to get back those same things, and I'm trying to add in group training along with it. So I'm trying to put something together to where is semi-private and group training together, as a package, and trying to do exactly what you just said about the 6 weeks or whatever, like a jump start or a kickstart of the program. I'm just trying to think what would be like the kind of the price point. I was thinking between 49, $50 to 100, and I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing numbers around, but I know that I don't have necessarily a price point.
Yeah. So you're looking for what's the price of what should you
Yeah,
charge for the price of your challenge to get people
yeah,
into?
to get them into that. Yeah.
Okay. What would be if they continued after the thing? What would be their monthly price?
So it'll be well, normally I'd segue that into a semi-private. So in other words, they would do either let's say $200 for twice a week with me. 3 times is like 280, that kind of like, and 360 would be like 4 times, or
How many people in a group?
usually 4.
When you say usually 4, is that like what you
Yeah,
allow?
four is what I kind of
Four
can
is
control. Yeah, as
it's four,
opposed
so
to
4 is the capacity.
yeah, about
Sorry,
4.
what was the price of twice a week?
Twice a week is 200.
So, okay, so they're paying $50 a session.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's $200. No, that's not right. Hold on, let me do some math here.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
You got it, brother. 200 divided by. No, it's not. It's not $50. It's $25.
Yeah, it's 25.
So the most you can make is 100
Yeah.
in that session. 280 divided by 12 is 23. So 25, 23. What are you getting for like a one-on-one if you do it? Where are you located?
I only that's the thing. I'm in Rock Hill, South Carolina, but it's right
What's
there in
it?
Charlotte. So I'm between the both of them. But
What's it like?
as far as what you mean,
Demographics?
demographics,
Yeah.
I would say age
Here,
wise between
here,
20.
here's how
Yeah.
I figure this out. Ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Is there more Applebee's or is there more high-end steakhouses?
Steakhouses.
Okay, good. So there's money.
I'm with you. I see what
You
you
got,
mean.
you get what I'm saying? So if
I
all
get
the
what
time
you're
you just tell me, hey, there's a Walmart, there's an Applebee's, and there's McDonald's, we're screwed.
Yeah.
We ain't got a lot of money in that
Well,
issue.
well, hey, well, there is a Walmart, a Sam's, and right there, it's like right on the
As
corner.
long
But
that's
I'm like,
fine. Those places are everywhere,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
if
yeah,
that's only what there is, there's a
yeah,
reason for that,
yeah,
right? And it means that that is parked there, parked at the low income
yeah,
places. It's not that they're there, it's that that's the only thing that's there. But if there's
yeah,
high-end car dealerships, high-end hotels,
yeah,
high-end restaurants, that means those people aren't dumb. They did their demographic due diligence and they realize
yeah,
that there are people that live in an area that have the money to pay for it.
yeah. I'm in an industrial park, like garage kind of feel.
Right.
I'm right next to the golf
That's
course. So I
yeah,
went up to the golf course.
that's not as important as
Yeah.
where is the value of the home
Yes.
in your direct area,
Okay.
right? So the first thing I think you need to do is you may not like me for saying this, right?
Hey, say it, brother. Say it.
I think you can do 6 instead of 4.
Okay.
Every one of my
I can do
customers
that.
does. Every
I
one of
mean,
my
literally,
customers does 6.
yeah, I can do that. I mean, I guess I went from because the building I had before it was a little smaller. You know what I'm saying? To where this is like an
Yeah.
open
Yeah. So
open
I
spot.
think that alone, right? Because now we have the capacity, right now with 4, we have the capacity to make 100.
Okay.
This makes us the capacity to make 150.
All
I
right.
really want to try to get you to make $200 an hour.
Me too.
Yeah. And we can
Me
do
too.
that through so if we get that 6 and understand that we're not always going to have 6 on average. Like I don't have
Yeah.
anyone that's 6 on average. So you call it 4 to 5 is going to be the average. So it's not going to be 150, it's going to be closer to 125, right? So how do we
Okay.
make up that 75? Well, we do the price raise. Now,
Okay.
understand this, we don't have to do that right away.
Yeah.
But I want you to bookmark that in your mind of like I want to
Mm-hmm.
be making $200 an hour every time I have a session. And I
Yeah.
want to do that with an 85% capacity. So my price point needs to be, how do I take 200 and divide that by 5? We need to be closer to $40. We're now at
40. Yeah.
25. So I'm not
Yeah.
saying you need to be there today, but that's where I want you to work towards.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm gonna do that one thing. That
Yeah,
one thing.
yeah,
If I ain't
exactly.
got nothing else, that one thing.
Yeah.
I got it.
That's where you're at because with funneling a lot of people, I just don't like to funnel a lot of people into a model where, like, hey, at peak we're making $100 an hour.
Yeah.
You can probably get $100 an hour for a one-on-one session.
but I don't even do one-on-one. That's
Right,
what
but
I
I'm saying
normally.
if you did, you probably could get close to that.
Yeah.
And let's say it's not 100, let's say it's 80. We still, for small group, we need to be at least making double of what we can make at one-on-one. So
Okay.
let's say one-on-one we can make 80, we need to be at 160
Okay.
at 85% capacity. So we're
Okay.
like the price point is like that's the thing that's bugging me a little bit. Um, I'm not saying because I know it's new and you just moved and there's been a lot of transition. I'm not gonna like force you to do that today, but that's the mindset I want you to have. I'm working towards getting $40 every time someone comes in, and I'm gonna get 5 to 6 people in every session.
Okay.
And you can string a bunch of those together, you're gonna be doing all right.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I
So
appreciate it.
so yeah, but back to your question, on the
Yeah.
price point. So if you're charging around $200 a month,
Okay.
um, and we're going to, what are you going to give them? How many sessions are you going to give them? 3 for the thing?
No, what you said it was. I told you it was 2 for 200. It was 2 sessions, but for
What
three
would,
sessions,
what,
for
no,
two for
what,
three
if they
sessions,
did,
280.
if they did a 6-week challenge though, what
Oh
would you
yeah,
give them?
yeah.
3?
It'll be yeah 3. Yes.
3? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be 3.
Uh,
Actually, no,
I-
it was 4.
it's,
That's what I wrote down. I wrote down
yeah.
4. I'm sorry.
You're in 4. I think I'd give them 3. I think 4 might be too much. You almost like throw
Okay.
people too much. I would charge um I would charge 197.
197. My man.
Yep. Charge 197 for 3 times a week, so it's a little less. So it's a little, we're trying to get a bunch of people in there.
All right.
All right. And if we can convert half of them, we're on the right track.
All right. Yep. Appreciate it.
Cool.
You are the man.
All right, brother. Good job. Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Um, Dennis, what's going on?
Hey Vince,
What's up?
I own a martial arts school. I find what you
Cool.
guys doing like fascinating.
I just had
And
a 3-hour meeting with a martial arts guy. He's got 3 locations. He just joined our group, Josh. We had
so cool.
everything I'm teaching applies to martial arts.
The thing that seems like a little bit different is in martial arts schools, like say like jujitsu classes, you usually you do privates and you do mostly like group sessions, but it never really gets divided into small group, large group. I find what you do fascinating. And I'm like, God, there's got to be a better answer here, like how we teach martial arts. I just wanted you to comment on that and kind of like how you help martial arts schools. I mean, it sounds like that model will work for us, but it also sounds like it's going against what is done in martial arts schools.
Yeah. So I have a lot of experience in martial arts, and my son is in jujitsu. He's been in jujitsu for 5 years. He's 10 now, and he started when he was 5. So I'm at jujitsu school every day. Um, he's on like the comp team. I'm like very wrapped up in the whole thing.
So cool.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Um, I think there's a couple ways to look at this, right? You can take some of the things that I taught today, and everything would apply, right? If
How
you
about the
have
small group? Like I hear you guys talking about
Yeah,
6
yeah.
people in a
But I'm
group.
saying
That's
if we just
different.
if we took that away, right, and we just
Okay.
said, all right, your business model, which is successful, right? You know, it's there's and here's the thing. There's lots of gyms that do large group training that are very successful that don't do small group. So small group just happens to be my model, like how I've structured it, and how I've taught it, how I wrote the book on it. It's not the only model that can be successful. I mean, if you look at Orange Theory, you look at F45, these are multi-million dollar brands that are succeeding and making plenty of money with the similar model that you have, which is a large group model. So I don't know if I would jump so quickly into just looking at the grass is greener. I would think about how do I maximize what I am doing now with by price? Like, when was the last time you raised prices? You know, when was the last time you tweaked billing cycles? When was the last time we looked at, hey, does someone on, that like my daughter is on My son is on the unlimited package. My daughter's on the 2 time a week package, right? They would be smart if they went to my daughter and said, "Hey, do you want to try the unlimited package this summer?" Right? And get more money. So I
Yeah.
think there's tons of things inside of what I taught you today that completely fit like a glove into a martial arts school. The question you're asking about small group is interesting, and could it work? Could it not? I think that you'd have to look at, is it actually valuable? Is it something that would be positive versus when I did jujitsu for about a year, right? And there was a lot of value in having multiple partners and going against purple belts and going against blue belts and going against white belts and the camaraderie of the group and the energy of the people and the community. I saw a lot of value in that. And I don't know if it would be the same in a small group. Maybe if you had a specialty small group of older guys like me that here's where I think it could work. You ready? I think it possibly works in a couple different ways. I think the first way it works is if you have people that are super serious about competing and they
Yeah.
don't want to pay for privates,
Hmm.
right? Because when I was, my son does privates every week. It's 150 an hour. Like I'm $600 a month in to his privates on top of I'm spending over $1,200 a month on jujitsu right now. So I'm a good customer for you, right? Um, but at the end of the day, I would probably prefer him to be in a small group with 3 or 4 other kids and pay $50. And I would think it would probably be very similar. I don't think he needs to be one-on-one with his instructor. So I
Yeah.
think it could work there. I think the other way it could work is mini beginner small groups, right?
Yeah.
Where you have people that are just starting out in jujitsu that may be totally intimidated by the class, and that you have a small group beginner session that is a little bit more money up front, where they're getting more individual attention, and maybe it's designed as an on-ramp program where hey, it's designed to be in this for three months, and then you go into the big classes, but some people stay forever, and there's a difference in cost in there. I think those are 2 areas where it possibly could work. But Dennis, I don't know if I would be so quick to blow up a model that I don't know much about your business, right? Um, but don't be so quick to blow up a model because you hear other things working in other places. I think that the martial arts model, when it's run well, can be very, very profitable. I mean, I look in there sometimes at my kids' classes. They have a pretty big dojo. It's about 5,000 square feet, but there's like sometimes 40 kids in there. And I'm doing the math, and it's like, okay, 40 kids, 10 to $15 a session. Okay, they're making some good money in that hour. And plus, on top of the fact that they pay one instructor, the rest are all volunteer. It's like, okay, let's string a couple of those together, and we're doing all right. So I don't think that your model is broken by any means, and I would be running away from it. But is it possible to add some of those different strategies in the light of what I shined on the beginner program or the advanced competitor? Possibly.
Yeah, I think that's the piece which is kind of missing from the model now. All those things you mentioned, I totally agree with. You need sometimes bigger classes to have a mix of people, but smaller classes do help with competitors.
Yeah.
They help with maybe older guys coming in and they're like, I don't want to go against a 20-year-old guy, guy. They're much more nervous walking in and saying, who am I going to be with? Who are these going to
Yeah.
be people like me? And we take care of them, of course. They're going to have all these ideas in their head, but none of that's going to come true. We will take care of you. But if you had a smaller group, I think that'll make them feel more comfortable and explaining that to them. So I registered for the call tomorrow, so I could always, kind of go over
Cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, go over that
But
with
thank
Tom.
you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
great question. Yeah, real good question. I am tell you, my number one job as a parent is to take my son to jujitsu every day.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really it's amazing. It's amazing what it does. And my daughter too. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you,
Cool.
Vince. I got to
You
go
got
on
it, brother.
another call, but
You
thank
got
you
it.
so
Yep.
much.
You got it, Dennis. Good work. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Nick, do you have another question?
Yes.
So,
So
yeah.
you just mentioned that you take your son to jujitsu, you do private lessons. So I do a
Yep.
lot of private lessons in my gym. More than 50% of my revenue comes from private lessons. The good about that is you get big chunks of money. So that way you get big chunks of money. You have 20 people sign up for a package of 1,100. You're like, oh wow, I pulled in 22 grand this month. That feels good. But then when that's a package of 10, they're using it once a week. They're not re-signing up for 10 weeks. So that's the part where I don't like, where it's not necessarily predictable on how much money and revenue is coming in based on how often they're coming. So the group classes are great because we have X amount of people paying X amount of dollars a month and it's predictable. That's easy, right? But for privates, it's not. So I was wondering, when you signed up your son, do you do like a package of 10 is 1,500 and you just pay it outright like that? Or do you do like a monthly billing where you pay a certain amount for a certain amount of sessions? Like, how does it work on the consumer side of what you've
Yep.
paid? And also, if you were the gym trying to structure that, would you structure that and say, okay, if it's $150 a lesson, I'm going to charge you $600 a month, and you get 4 private lessons a month, and you have up to X amount of time to use them? Like, how do you structure that?
So it's a good question. The way their model is the majority of the money that they are making are from recurring revenue classes,
Okay.
meaning that their business model is not heavy. That's why I talked about the revenue mix. I think that's a
Yeah.
really, really important piece of it. If one-on-one is a very, very high percentage of your revenue mix, and you
Correct.
do bill package-wise, you're 100% right. You're going to be collecting not a consistent amount of money every month, which
Yeah.
makes to be an unpredictable situation.
Correct. Correct.
My in my circumstance, the majority of their money is being made on recurring revenue from our monthly bill. So I sign him up for an unlimited package. He goes to jujitsu every day a week, every day of the week.
Yeah.
We do up one private a week on Saturdays. Okay. I would be very hesitant to do a monthly billing for 2 reasons. One, we're not always around. This Saturday, we're not there. Okay, we're going down the shore. Two,
Okay.
my son competes. So a lot of times tournaments are on the weekend.
Hmm.
Three, his sensei competes. So a lot of times he's not there on the weekend. So if I was paying monthly for the package, there'd be many, many, many months where we would be making sessions up or trying to keep track. So I prefer as a consumer the package
Okay.
because I know I'm not like I know I'm always even,
Yeah, that's
right?
what we do.
So I think
It's just
that
scary though, like what
it's
you just
scary.
said
You're
though. It's
right. You're
like,
right. From a business model standpoint, for
from a
them,
business
it's
model,
not as
it's
good.
terrible
It's not
because I
as
mean,
good.
there's some months that we'll see that we'll pull in 80 for the month, and the next month is 15. I'm
And
like,
my advice to you
and then
would be
and
this.
also I don't know what next month looks like. Like, full
Right.
transparency, if you said, hey, what are you going to bring in the month of June? I can't give you an answer because I have 150 people doing private lessons. Some people train 1 time a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and some people do half hours, some people do hours. Like, the number, it can, I don't know the answer. I can average out what we've earned, but it's more of like a deferred, like, earnings kind of thing. We get the money up front and then we earn it as we go over time. But as
So you
far
have
as what's going to
so you
come
have
in, I don't
yeah.
have that answer.
So you have two options. Your first option is you create kind of what I did with Oliver in the very beginning of this, more of a different model, whether that's large group or small group, that's on a recurring revenue monthly basis,
Okay.
and you work to make that the highest percentage of your income. Meaning you
Okay.
have targeted, focused on marketing. All of your sales process leads to that program, and you're trying to increase that monthly recurring revenue. That's your main focus of your company. Okay.
Okay.
The second thing to do, and I just did this with a buddy of mine who has a personal training gym that does all one-on-one, you can do monthly for one-on-one. And basically, you would just shift, you're saying, you would tell your people, it's like, hey, we're shifting our services around. We're going from buying packages to buying monthly. So, for example, it's $100 a session, instead of paying us for a 10 pack for at $1,000, you're going to pay us $800 a month for twice a week training.
Yeah.
And he just did that, and it was very successful. So that is your other option, is just to start charging monthly. You're going to get into a little bit of this, oh, I had this makeup and that makeup, and you may get into a little logistical things. But from a revenue standpoint for you and a safety standpoint for your peace of mind, that is definitely something that if that is the bulk of your revenue, I would strongly consider doing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Cool. A lot to think about there, huh? But I've had success with both. Like my buddy just did it with his gym. He's got a one-on-one training gym. And then I told you what I did with Oliver. So it could be a little bit of both that you do. All right. What time is it? 2:00. What do you think of that, Kev? You're always with me to the end. Call it a day?
And
I got nothing.
I was just about to say I had to go, so
There you go. Let's call it. If you got to leave, we all got to leave. All right, guys. This was fun. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you all.
Thanks for listening to FBU Podcast. Guys, if you got anything out of this episode, do us a favor. Hit that like button, share this episode with another fitness business owner, and subscribe to our channel. Every one of those clicks help us out a lot. And don't forget, visit vincegabriel.com for tons of free resources. There are books, downloads, everything a fitness business owner could need. Thanks again. Have a great day.